Okay, proceed.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone and welcome to today's
Waalaikumsalam
forum on
warahmatullahi
School Leadership Challenge
wabarakatuh.
Retaining Teachers in Malaysia. So today we will explore the challenge and policies related to teacher retention in Malaysia and the role that school leadership and the broader community play in addressing this issue. So our panel today consists of the Minister of Education, Mr. Hafiz Omar, our principal of SBPI Gopeng, Mr. Ni Irfan, and
Yeah.
our teacher from SMK Hutan Melintang, Mrs. Hamizah, and the president of PIBG, Mr. Nasiruddin. Okay, each will provide the unique perspective on how policies are impacting teacher retention and suggest ways to forward. So I will begin with a question for all our panelists. How do you view the importance and relevance of education policies in retaining teachers? Minister, Mr. Irfan, Mr. Hafiz, could you start?
Okay. Okay, thank you to our moderator, Miss Shazlin. Okay, okay, thank you. And can we start uh, with the importance and relevance of policies in education? Cannot be overstated. Okay, especially when it comes to teacher retention. Effective policies are the backbone of any education system. They set the framework for how school operate and how teachers are supported. In Malaysia, the National Education Blueprint and subsequent reforms have emphasized improving teacher quality through salary enhancements, better professional development opportunities, and leadership training programs. These policies are highly relevant as they directly influence the teacher's daily life, okay, their professional growth and their job satisfaction. When we improve the working condition and support teachers through these policies, we not only improve their retention but also the overall quality of education in Malaysia. So, in that sense, the relevance of policies is directly tied to creating a sustainable teaching profession. Okay, this my this from me as a Minister of Education. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hafiz. So, how about your point of view as principal, Mr. Irfan? Can you share with us?
All right. Okay. First of all, I'd like to say thanks a lot for inviting me and to be part of this forum. So, as a principal, I of course I really agree with Mr. Minister. Policies are indeed, of course, to be crucial, but their importance lie in their alignment with the reality of day-to-day school life. For instance, the national level policies on teacher salary and the workforce development are important for retaining teachers, but how these policies are implemented at the school level is just as significant. Like, for example, while the policies promise salary increases, they often do not account for the local challenge faced by school, such as we can see that in terms of inadequate resources, large class sizes, or the lack of support staff. The policies are, we can say that it is really relevant, but they need to be flexible and adaptable to the specific needs of individual schools. The relevance come in when these policies are designed not just to address teachers' retention, but also to create a positive school culture where all the teachers feel that they have the support and resources to succeed in their career. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Irfan, for sharing your view about these policies. So, how about you, Mrs. Hamiza? As a teacher who are experienced in this field, can you share with us?
Okay, thank you, Miss Moderator, Miss Shazlin. Okay, from my view as an experienced teacher, okay, education policies are extremely relevant as they impact everything from the salary to working conditions. However, while policies in Malaysia have focused on improving the financial assets such as salaries increase and allowance, just like what the government just announced, that the government servant will have an increment for your salary. Actually, they often overlook the emotional and mental health needs of teachers. This actually is a key gap that affect retention. Teachers today are not just looking for better financial. They also need recognition, work-life balance, and supportive leadership. While we have policies for professional development, they often lack gates of practical relevance. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hamizah. I agree with your opinion. So we proceed with Mr. Nasi as a president of PIBG to share his point of view on besides of communities and parents.
Okay, thank you, moderator, Puan Shazlin. Okay, from the community and parent side, the importance of education policies is critical because they shape the environment in which our children learn. If teachers are overworked, stressed, or undervalued, the quality of education inevitable suffer. It is it is important for the policy to be community driven, where parent and teacher collaborate to create an atmosphere
Atmosphere.
atmosphere
All right.
of
It's okay.
mutual support. The relevance of policy also extend to how well they address the broader societal impact, like teacher burnout that go beyond just the school setting. Parents want to ensure that teachers are supported and that their well-being is prioritized so they can effectively teach our children. For the policy to be relevant, they must not only benefit teachers but also improve the overall educational experience for students. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nasi, for your opinion about this kind of policies. Okay, so thank you all panelists for those perspective about important and the relevance of Malaysia policies of education. So now for the second round, let's we explore the issues related to the policies. So, Mr. Hafiz, what do you see as the main issues or gaps in current policies that are hindering teacher retention? Mr. Hafiz, can you on your mic?
Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you for Miss Shazlin for the question. Okay, let's we go for the there are a few key issues with the current policies that impact teacher retention. Okay, one significant issue is the discrepancy between policy and implementation. Okay, while policy design at the national level may sound promising, they are often not executed consistently across different regions or type of schools. Uh, urban schools may receive more attention and resources, while the rural schools or those in less developed areas often lack of necessary support to fully implement these policies. Furthermore, while there is a focus on improving teacher salaries, workload reduction and professional development, the practical challenge of executing these policies remain. For example, in many schools, teachers are still burdened with an overwhelming amount of administrative tasks, leaving them with little time for teaching or professional development. Another issue in the lack of comprehensive support for teacher mental health. So, policies need to address both physical and mental well-being if we are to prevent burnout. Okay, that's my opinion, and that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hafiz, for sharing with us a few key issues related to these current policies. So, Mr. Irfan, how about you? Can you share some of your experience that related with these main issues?
You're right. So let discuss this issue in the school environment, in school level. So in my own experience at school level, one of the main issues is that while the policies on teachers retention are good on paper, they are often disconnected from the realities of the school environment. Like for example, the policies on reducing workload or increasing administrative support are often underfunded or ignored when it comes to the actual implementation. Teachers are still overwhelmed. We can't deny that. With the non-teaching duties, and the school leaders are left trying to balance all these policies with the school operational needs. Another issue is that the lack of support for school leadership itself. Okay, all right. So without well-trained and well-supported school leaders, the implementation of the retention policies at the ground level can fail for sure. There are also the challenge of inconsistent policy enforcement across all schools in Malaysia. That's my point of view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Irfan, for sharing your experience about this kind of issue related with our current policies. So, how about you, Mr. Samisa, as a teacher? Did you face any issue with these current policies?
Okay, thank you. I actually agree with what Mr. Irfan said just now. Okay, from my own experience as a teacher, one issue I face is the inconsistency in how policies are applied across different schools. Okay, for instance, some schools may have strong teacher support program, but others don't. Uh, Even if the same policies are supposed to be in place, there is a clear gap between policy intent and actual impact. Additionally, there is often a lack of emotional support for teachers, just like I said just now. While we hear about professional development programs, they often fail to address the mental health and well-being of teachers. There is also an issue with the overburden of teachers with administrative staff, the challenge with the integration of digitalization in education system, a lot of assessments, and other duties that distract from actual teaching, such as being a hostel teacher's assistant and being committee for so many unnecessary program. The focus needs to shift from just salary increase to holistic support system that help teachers stay engaged and healthy. Okay, that's from me.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hamiza. I agree with your opinion about these kinds of experience and that related with the our current education policies. So, I want to ask Mr. Nasi. So, what the main issue that come from community's perspective?
All right. So, from my opinion, and from community perspective, one of the main issues is that many policy fail to involve parent and the local community in the process. Teacher retention teacher retention isn't just a responsibility of the ministry or school leaders. It also requires the active involvement of parents. Teachers need to backing of parents and the wider community to be effective. Without proper communication between the ministry, school leadership, and parent, policy lack the support base they need to succeed. Community engagement is often overlooked in the creation and execution of this policy. This is a missed opportunity because a collaborative approach between parents and teachers could help to ease many of the challenge teacher face. That's all from me. So I pass to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nasir. I also agree with you. The involvement between parents and the local community with the teacher will help the teacher to ease many of the challenge that they face for the kind of this kind of the education policies. So I would like to thank you all for the sharing those insight. So now let's we discuss the strength and the weaknesses of the current policies. So, Mr. Hafiz, as the minister, could you elaborate on the strength and the weakness of Malaysia current education policies with respect to the teacher retention?
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, we started with the strength first. Okay, the strength of our current policies lie in their comprehensive approach to improving teacher welfare, such as salary increases, uh, career development programs, and uh, attempt to address workload. Okay, the teacher quality improvement programs, for instance, have made some progress in raising the professional standards of teachers. These policies are designed to acknowledge the critical role teachers play in shaping the future of the nation. However, the weakness lies in the implementation gaps. Although the policies are well intentioned, uh, they often fail due to lack of coordination, inconsistent enforcement, and insufficient resources at the school level. Furthermore, the focus is often on salary increases rather than holistic teacher support, including mental health and work-life balance. That's the strength uh, and of our current policies right now. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hafiz. Now, I would like to ask Mr. Irfan, from school principal perspective, can you share with us the strength and the weakness of Malaysia current education policies?
Okay, right. Thanks once again, moderator. So, of course, there are a lot of strength when we talk about these policies. And what I like to highlight here is that one of the strength is they have they have raised awareness about the teacher welfare and the importance of professional development. So in many school, I mean, we can see that in all school, we have seen improvement in teachers compensation and more opportunities for career progression. So however, when we talk about the weaknesses lie in the inadequate resources to support this policy. For instance, training program for teachers often take them out of the classroom or the PDP session for extended period, or we can say that a long for a long day, for a long period, which disrupt their teaching schedule, their teaching plans, and of course tend to impact the student learning. There also lack of uniformity in how policies are implemented in some school, especially in rural areas. We can say that lack of the necessary in infrastructure and support in order to apply these policies effectively. All right, that's all, moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Irfan. How about you, Mrs. Hamiza? Can you share your thought about the strength and the weakness of Malaysia current education policies that implement for all the teachers in Malaysia, just like you? So, can you give your opinion about this?
Okay, I believe that everyone's agree the strength of the policies is that they recognize the need for financial intensive and professional developments. However, I still stick with my stand that the weakness are apparent in their failure to address teacher well-being in a comprehensive way. While salary development programs while salary and development program are important, they do not fully address issues like stress, burnout, and overwork among the teachers. Teachers need a work environment that prioritizes not just their career advancement but their mental and emotional health. We need policies that integrate holistic well-being alongside the professional goals actually. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hamiza. Now we proceed with Mr. Nasir. As the president of PIBG, can you share about the strength and the weakness implement for the teachers, but with the perspective of community and the parents?
All right, thank you. So, in my opinion and in my side, the the strength of this policy is that they focus on improving teacher quality and recognizing the importance of teacher welfare. Okay, however, they fail to address the need for community engagement in the process. Policy that solely focus on teachers without involving the community are less likely to succeed. The weakness are also in the lack of parental involvement in the development and execution of these policies. Parent can play a pivotal roles in creating a supportive environment for teachers, but this is often not recognized or prioritized in the policy making process. Okay, this is my perspective as a parent from PIBG. Okay, thank you.
Okay, right. Thank you all for your valuable contribution. As we near the end of our discussion, I would like each of you to share a suggestion for improving policies related to teacher retention. So, what change or action would you recommend to make these policies more effective? Mr. Hafiz?
Okay, thank you, Miss Shazlin. That's some suggestion from me. In Minister in as a Minister of Education, okay, to improve teacher retention, we need a more holistic approach. Policies should not only focus on salary, but also on creating support system for teachers, especially in terms of mental health and work-life balance. Okay, we need to ensure that policies are implemented consistently across the country with local adaptation based on the unique needs of each school. Okay, additionally and lastly, we must make the process of policy enforcement more efficient and responsive to emerging challenges. Okay, that's all. Some suggestion from me. Thank you for the moderator and the fellow friends. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hafiz, as our Minister of Education in Malaysia. So, Mr. Irfan, as a school principal, can you give us some suggestion to improve our policies in education in Malaysia?
All right. Okay. Thanks. Once again. So at this moment, there's only one thing on my mind, and I would like to suggest that the policies should focus on providing more practical support for all the teachers, especially in terms of workload reduction and as well as the addition support staff. Okay, all right. So school need to be given the resources to implement these policies effectively. I think all the panels and Miss Moderator will be agree if I say that it should be given full attention on the flexibility in how professional development programs are structured so that all the teachers can participate without interrupting their teaching schedule and their uh, PDP session. And lastly, of course, I think by introducing the mentoring program for all new teachers should be emphasized in order to prevent the early burnout. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Irfan. So, Mrs. Hamiza, as a teacher, what you want the best to give and a suggestion for improving our education policies in Malaysia?
Okay, my suggestion would be the introduce a holistic well-being program that focus on teacher mental health alongside traditional career development. Policies should improve structure break or time for self-care and professional mental health support for teachers so that we can implement the work-life balance. We need policies that give teachers more control over their schedule and reduce unnecessary administrative work and also unnecessary program. That's all from me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hamiza. So the last one, Mr. Nasir, can you, as a closing, can you give to us, sharing with us the suggestion to improve our education policies?
All right. So thank you. So for my suggestion, I would recommend that policy place greater emphasis on parental and community involvement. Teachers should not be expected to shoulder the burden of retention alone. Schools should create more opportunities for parent and local community to contribute, whether through support program, volunteer work, or creating a positive school culture that value and support teacher. Can I quote from pepatah Melayu mengatakan kan, pepatah Melayu say, bagai au dengan tebing. So parent and school relation among parent and school must create a more supportive and sustainable environment for teacher to thrive in. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nasir. So, thank you all for your thoughtful and comprehensive response for all my question. So, it is clear that teacher retention is a multi-phased issue that requires concerted efforts at the policy, school, and the community levels. So, thank you for your insights today that have shed light on the importance of not only addressing teacher compensation but also the overall work environment, including the mental health support, community involvement, and also the practical implementation of policies. So we hope this discussion will inspire further action in improving teacher retention across the Malaysia. So Lastly, thank you to our panelists and to our audience for joining us today. So I hope we have a wonderful day. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Irfan,
Thank
Mr.
you. Thank you.
Hafiz, Mr. Nasir, and also Mrs.
yeah,
Hamiza
welcome, welcome.
for today. We hope we can meet again in our next
Inshallah.
forum,
Inshallah,
inshallah.
inshallah. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Right.
Let's meet you,
Shazlin, as
inshallah.
our
Thank you
moderator.
so
Right. Thank
much
you
for
so much.
inviting me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Right.
Assalamualaikum
Assalamualaikum
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi.
wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.